This happened to me a few years back, when I was fresh out of college and desperate for a job. My fiancé's uncle owned a handicapped bus service, and with no luck finding an internship, I jumped at the chance to be a night shift driver. The job was simple enough: pick up disabled folks, drop them off, rinse and repeat. The downtime between trips? I'd park at a nearby truck stop, grab a coffee, and maybe catch a few winks. Across the parking lot, a rundown motel flickered with life, a beacon in the otherwise deserted landscape. One night, a commotion erupted from the motel. A guy, wild-eyed and disheveled, burst out of a room, another guy hot on his heels, something glinting menacingly in his hand. The first guy vanished into the night, the second one turning back towards the motel. I watched, frozen, as this scene unfolded like a bad movie. Back at the truck stop, the adrenaline rush began to fade. A few hours later, I was parked in my usual spot, ready to grab a bite when a rude awakening jolted me from my half-sleep. A car, headlights blinding, revving its engine. I jumped out, ready to confront the jerk, but instead of driving off, the driver slammed on the brakes, the car screeching to a halt. I froze, my mind racing. Was this the same guy from the motel incident? Gathering my courage, I stood my ground. The car sped off, leaving me shaken but determined. From then on, I avoided that truck stop, opting for a more secluded spot. One night, after an exhausting 12-hour shift, I parked in a quiet corner, ready for a much-needed meal. Absorbed in my food and a TV show, I didn't notice the bus rocking gently. Suddenly, the door was yanked open, revealing a shadowy figure wielding a large knife. Fear, pure and raw, consumed me. I scrambled to my feet, my mind racing. The figure retreated, crawling under the bus. I locked the doors, activated the spotlights, hoping to scare him off. He vanished into the darkness, disappearing into the nearby woods. That was the last time I ever parked at that truck stop. The unsettling encounters, the looming sense of danger, it was all too much. I quit the job soon after, the memory of those nights haunting my dreams. This happened a few years back, when I was slinging packages for UPS. It was the dead of winter, and I was working the graveyard shift, delivering to the outskirts of town. One house, in particular, stood out. A trailer home, nestled amongst a sea of empty space. The houses were scattered like lost souls, the eerie silence broken only by the howling wind. I pulled up to the house, a heavy box in hand. No doorbell, just a knock echoing through the stillness. A woman answered, her face shrouded in shadow. Something about her was off, a nervous energy that buzzed in the air. She needed help bringing the box inside, taking me through the trailer, the stench of something rotten wafting through the air. She led me to a back room, pitch black except for the sliver of light seeping through the doorway. As I maneuvered the box into the room, my peripheral vision caught something unsettling. A figure, shrouded in darkness, standing motionless in the corner. My heart pounded against my ribs, a cold sweat breaking out. I mumbled something about the box being delivered, and made a hasty retreat. The woman, her voice laced with urgency, demanded I return and help her. But I couldn't. Not with that thing lurking in the shadows. I escaped, the engine roaring to life as I peeled out of the driveway. The rest of the night was a blur, my mind replaying the encounter on loop. What was that thing in the closet? What did they want? The questions gnawed at me, leaving me sleepless for nights. I never returned to that trailer park. The job became a distant memory, replaced by the haunting image of that shadowy figure. This happened to me a few years ago, and it's a story that still sends shivers down my spine. Picture this, a typical Sunday drive home after visiting family. The rain was coming down in sheets, the world outside my car window a blurry mess. I was cruising down a deserted service road, the kind that runs alongside the highway, when I spotted a red cab parked in the quarry lot. Nothing unusual, right? Except for the eerie feeling that settled in my gut. The road narrowed, forcing me to pass the truck. As I did, the driver pulled out, nearly causing a collision. My heart pounded, adrenaline surging. The rest of the drive was a blur, the trucker hot on my heels, flashing his lights, laying on the horn like a maniac. I weaved through the lanes, trying to lose him, the rain blurring my vision, the fear clouding my judgment. Finally, I reached the highway, hoping to lose him in the traffic. No such luck. He stayed on my tail, his high beams blinding me, the constant honking a nerve-wracking soundtrack to my terror. I pulled over onto the shoulder, desperate to break free of his relentless pursuit. That's when I saw him. A shadowy figure emerging from the cab, moving with a strange, almost predatory gait. Fear, pure and raw, consumed me. I fumbled for my phone, snapping a few pictures, hoping to capture evidence of his menacing behavior. But the rain and the dim light made the photos useless. The figure vanished, swallowed by the darkness. I sped off, the highway stretching out before me, a lifeline to safety. The rest of the drive was a blur, my mind replaying the terrifying encounter. I never saw that trucker again, but the memory of his relentless pursuit, the shadowy figure, haunts me to this day. Love these stories? Listen to these scary stories of my terrifying road trip at night. Click on the video on your screen.